Hey everybody, good evening. Today is Friday, November 12th, 2021. This is Ben Capozzi with Broad Shoulders Farm in beautiful Halifax County, Virginia, USDA Grow Zone 7. And I'm in the Bantam Run, and I don't think I've done a video on the Bantam Run in maybe more than a year. And I don't really want to go into the history of that so much as I just want to talk about the changes that we're making now. So let me flip the camera around and I'll talk a little bit about what is going on to improve the quality of life for some of the littlest members of our farm working team. Okay, so the Bantam Run is about a 40 by 40 square area here in the northwest corner of the farm. The Bantams have a nice 8 by 16 house. They've had that for a few years. They have tons of roosts that you see them on now, but as it gets darker, they will all move from there before it gets too dark, and they will all sleep on top of those shelves that I have there. They've done this for more than a year. They don't use these, which is very frustrating. But anyhow, so they all just form like cuddle puddles up there. So, you know, to each their own. But the problem here is this is a static run. You know that we rotate most of our birds through the orchard, and I'm constantly working to try and improve the quality of forage and really delicious like seasonal feed for the birds there in rotating through the orchard. But these littles are too little to rotate through our foraging program. Or our pasturing program. They can kind of slip unhindered in and out of the electronet fencing that we have from Premier One. Discovered that early on, so I was like, you know, I care about these guys too much to just let them run the risk of being taken. So we put them in here. We also thought this was a safe area last year because this is where the grow out pens were. We had 1, 2, 3 when we had the Marek's outbreak, unfortunately. And again, like I said, I don't really want to go into the history of this area, at least not right now. But I just want to talk about the improvements that are being made. So we took out the grow out pens just here in the last week. Friend of the farm, Rachel, and I worked in here. Rachel just did a tremendous job. The littles managed to kill this apple tree that was in here. I think it just can't handle the manure load that they were producing. I mean, the tree was old and it was kind of on its way out, but they really sped it up. So much more suited for this area would be a mulberry tree, which is something that I'm looking at bringing in. But the first thing that I wanted to do was make this fence line a productive fence line. And I've talked about this in different videos. I'm a big fan of, if you've got a fence line, you know, start planning on both sides of it and make it do something. But, you know, how to get something established in a coop where there are living critters that will just kind of wreck it. So this idea is lifted 100% from Sean and Sasha at Edible Acres. This is what they did in their static chicken run. So basically we've just got about 24 inches, 2 feet of wire. I just used what I had extra of. I had chicken wire and I had this 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch welded wire. So we just ran that all around the perimeter on, you know, everywhere that we can. We came out, you know, about, I don't know, 18 inches, 12 inches. It's not completely uniform the whole way. Excuse me. And I used all of the apple tree that we chopped up. I laid that all down around the base. If you looked at the photos I was putting up earlier this week on Instagram, you could see all that. So this is kind of like a buried wood bed, a hugel mound, which are never productive their first year, but over time they absorb more water, they break down, they attract more beneficial soil life and biota. And they're really good. So I was like, you know, we're not going to haul all these tree branches away. Let's just put them right here in place. And then we just started removing the top layer of compost and mulch and broken down kitchen scraps and straw and pine shavings and hay that these guys have been working on for a few years. And we piled it all in here. And I'm surprised that we got as much as we did. So, you know, I'm pretty pleased with it. In some areas, obviously it's taller than in others, and it's going to settle a lot over the years. But that is a-okay because I'll just keep adding more as these littles keep producing more. So it's not a big deal. I want to plant into this, and the way that you do this, again, without it just being destroyed by the littles, is you can sow your seeds in here, and I'm actually planting perennials as well as some broadcast seeds. And then you can use any kind of inexpensive netting. I have a bunch of deer netting left over, just tons of fragments of it from Tractor Supply that I've worked with for years, and it's great. And I'll probably just staple it up at this end along here and then drape it down over here. You can staple some boards to it as well if you want to make like some weights to kind of hold it down, but it really does a nice job of preventing the littles from getting in unless you want them to get in. So the idea is that once the seeds germinate and you get some things going, like some greens primarily, which is what I want for them, I can then lift the netting and either allow them access, or I can just yank some stuff myself and throw it out here for them, so that we don't have to go very far for them to have fresh greens, even though they live in a stable run that, you know, they just kind of reduce to the surface of the moon over time, and that's fine. The idea is to get them high quality living foods. So that's one of the ways we're going to do it. I'm planting a bunch of blackberry canes in here. I put in, I think, 1, 2, 3 Triple Crown in here the other day. That's my latest blackberry. That's like August. Over here I put in 3 Kiowa, which is the only thorny blackberry I have, but it does produce the largest berries in the blackberry cultivar kingdom, at least as far as I understand. So I've got 3 of those in there, and they're the earliest ones starting in June. So the idea is that from June until August, I'll have a bunch of blackberries through here. And of course, as they grow, I can prune them, I can propagate them, I can propagate the canes and sell them as part of the nursery stock. I have at least 3 other varieties. I've got like Primark and Primark Traveler, and a couple other blackberries that are going to go in here. But blackberries aren't the only, you know, kind of summer food that I've got for them. I have plans to add some shrubs, some edible or fruit-bearing shrubs in here as well, probably on like 8-foot centers. I think I can get maybe about 4 over here and about 4 over here. Excuse me. And I want to mix it up so that there's an array of berry types and flavors. I don't know if they enjoy flavors or not, but basically just a variety of different plants, pulling up different medicine and different nutrients for them, different antioxidants and all that. So I'm thinking, you know, an elder bush, a fig bush. I have an early and a later blueberry that I'm going to put in here. There is a dwarf mulberry that forms a shrub. I think it's Girardi is the variety that I'm looking at putting in here. I'll probably put in 1 hazelnut, and I think I'm already pretty close to 8, which I think is what I have room for, and probably at least 1 autumn olive or autumn berry bush. And then I'd like to get 1 meter variety of American persimmon to put in the back here, because, you know, that's the north end, this is south behind me, so I can put the taller things back there. But, you know, 4 to 5 foot shrubs up on this layer. Back here where it's a little darker, shade from that tree, as well as in the middle of summer, the sun is way up there, and it casts back here. I think I can put currants along there because they do fine in full sun and shade, still fruiting. And then I want to give them a composting run, just like we did for the hens in the retirement home. Theirs is a 4-panel one that's 8 by 18 or so, I think. 8 by 16, 8 by 17. We're going to give them one that's just 3 panels. So I've already kind of started to stage this. And theirs is going to be 12 by 8 with 3 panels. So, and I was going to orient it east-west, but I think I'm actually going to do it north-south. This corner was going to be an ICU that I started, and it just sat idle for more than a year. I'm slowly taking it apart. I'll open up all of that, take all this out, and then I'll have more space to push that back there. I may leave part of it as a nice place to store fresh hay for them when I have it. Need to figure out exactly where their feed is going to go. But I just wanted to take a moment and talk about the changes that are going on in here to improve their quality of life. And the biggest thing is going to be to provide better, fresh, living forage for them. That's the main goal. So questions, comments, concerns are always appreciated. I hope that wherever you are doing well. You can follow the farm here on YouTube as well as on Facebook and Instagram. And I will talk to you all later. I'll probably do another update in another couple days. By then I should have this cattle panel composting run set up for them and some of the trees planted, and hopefully resolve. I'm going to disassemble that or rearrange it or what. But so stay tuned for another update soon, and I will talk to y'all later. Take care.